Hi there. I know that you read tons of articles, some from me, some from lots of other people, about plugins you can put on your WooCommerce store, right? WooCommerce extensions that can do all sorts of things for you. And I know the thought goes, hey, if I can use this and I don't have to write any code, it'll be perfect. But the thing you need to think about is that the code that you're putting on your site is still code. Someone else wrote it. And when they wrote it, they didn't know anything about your store. You're getting a generic version of code that hopefully works across most stores. And you put it on your store, and more often than not, you're not even sure all of what it does. And you have no way to know whether or not that code is going to make your site perform slower. Well, I want to tell you right off the bat, if you are using plugins to do things like automated email follow-up, if you're using plugins that do automatic creation of coupons in the right conditions, if you're using extensions that are solving automation problems, like when this happens, trigger this, and do that on your server. I'm not talking about going off to Zapier. I'm talking about like literally on your server. You're causing your server to do a whole lot of work. If you're using those plugins, right? Think about it when you want to send out an email and you're saying, well, only send this email if they've made a purchase before or if they bought this product. You're making it do another set of queries to figure it out and then send off the email. If you have something that says, I want you to dynamically create this coupon if they've browsed this many pages, done this thing, bought this before, you're making it query all that and then go and do the work to create the coupon code. And then you want to send it out. You're asking your web server to do a lot more queries and to function as an outbound email server and all the other, if you're doing workflows, right? Where you're like, oh, if they do this, trigger this pop up on the screen or trigger this thing, you're causing it to do work. And every time you do that, there is a chance that you're going to slow your site down so dramatically that you won't benefit from those things because those are all predicated on someone buying. And if people don't stay on your site because it takes too long, they don't buy. See, sometimes we want to load up so many features and we go, oh, and I don't know how to code all that, or I don't want to pay someone to, so I just get some plugins and I'll just throw it on. And then later you discover, I'm ruining my own conversion rate. And that's not good news. So what do? First, find a developer, right? Find someone you can trust who will actually test or evaluate the performance of every one of these extensions to make sure it's not doing stuff you don't know that it's going to do and it's going to do on your store. The second is be super judicious. Make sure that every extension you put on your store is one that delivers high value in the context of conversions and everything else, right? Not just, oh, well, it added this feature that I didn't know how to code. Make sure it's delivering value in the context of the performance trade-off with conversions, right? And the third, right, is regularly run performance tests, right? On your WooCommerce store, regularly check to make sure that something hasn't come in through a plugin or extension update or through a change in WooCommerce or a change in your theme. As you're sitting there updating all your stuff, constantly check to make sure the performance is as you expect. You want to be careful and judicious with the plugins that you're activating, not because there's a certain magical number of good plugins, bad plugins, just because performance is what matters most when it comes to conversions on your store.